Hi guys, David O'Sullivan here, and in this video I'm going to be giving you my review of Your Name. Now Your Name is a new Japanese anime film, and I was really interested in checking this movie out because I'm not a hardcore fan of anime, but I do like anime films, and there's some anime films that are some of my favourite films of all time. I think Spirited Away is just absolutely fantastic. I'm a big fan of Studio Ghibli as well, and the films that they put out over the years. I really love When Mone Was There, that came out earlier on this year in the UK. I thought that was great, and so I really wanted to check this out because yes, although it wasn't Studio Ghibli, it was still a Japanese anime film, and I'd heard so many great things about it. It looked really good from the trailer, so I had to go and check this movie out. And unfortunately here in the UK there was only 2 screenings of it, at least where I live anyway. There was a screening last month that I missed, that sold out, and then I was able to get tickets for the last screening, and in short, I just think this film was just absolutely fantastic. It was really great, and even though I haven't seen that many anime films and I'm not the hardcore ginormous fan of anime, I do really like and respect anime films because I just really love how different they are from just the mainstream Hollywood animated movies. I think Studio Ghibli is fantastic. I'm not sure what the production company is here. It's not Studio Ghibli. It's a different animation house, a different director, not Hayao Miyazaki. It's a different guy doing this, but my god, this film was truly incredible. Literally, the thing that was swirling around my head when I came out of the cinema was, this was truly remarkable. It was a remarkable film because this film was not only different from any other anime or animated film I've ever seen, but it was different from any other film I've seen this year. That's how great this movie was. It really stood out from the crowd and shined as something truly special. It was really quite different and unique, and I absolutely loved it for that. One of the things I liked most about this film was that it was very surprising and refreshing, as I said, because it was so different, and also because it was very subversive and unconventional. This wasn't your average body swap film. If you've seen the trailers, you know anything about this film, you know that it is a body swap film where 2 characters swap bodies, and we've seen that so many times before, most notably in Freaky Friday probably, but with every other body swap movie, or at least in any other body swap movie that I've seen, it's just either 2 girls or 2 boys. It's never a gender swap, but in this film it is. It's a boy and a girl swap bodies, and as well as being a fantastic subversion on the body swap concept that we've seen so many times before, it wasn't just an average body swap film. This film had so much more to it, and even though I really like the trailers for this film, the trailers really don't do it justice because there is so much more to this film than the trailers would suggest. It's not just a body swap film. There's so many elements from so many other genres and themes and styles that are interwoven so wonderfully and harmoniously into this incredible, extraordinary experience of a film. It was truly remarkable, as I said. It wasn't just a body swap film. There was an element of that. It was in part a teen comedy, and as far as the teen comedy part of it goes, it was absolutely fantastic. One of the best teen comedies I've ever seen. It wasn't dumb, it wasn't cheesy, it felt real, it felt natural, you could buy into it, it was believable, and the humour, this film was so funny. There was a lot of humour that really worked. It came about naturally from the characters in this kind of weird situation, they didn't know what was going on, and there was a particular moment that recurred a lot throughout the film, and that got a lot of laughs from the audience. It was great to be in an audience that loved anime and loved the film, and they could really understand and get the humour. But as well as being a great teen comedy in the concept of a body swap film, it was also a great romantic drama as well. There was elements of romance, elements of drama that came in here and there, and there was even stuff that happened towards the end of the film that I don't really want to address because I don't want to spoil it, but suffice to say, this isn't just a body swap film. It's so much more than just that concept. There's so many other elements of other genres that are kind of combined together into this film that make it so much more than that. The film also took some very surprising twists and turns towards the end of the film, or in the latter half of the film, that you really didn't expect and didn't see coming, or at least I didn't anyway. And that's what I love about not just this film, but about anime films in general, because they're not just your average Hollywood mainstream animated movie. And I love Hollywood movies, I love Disney movies, you know. It's a bit ironic coming from me when my last 2 videos were my favourite Disney movies and a Moana review, but as much as I love Disney, the one downside of Disney movies is that they're kind of formulaic and predictable. Some stray from the formula a bit, like Zootopia, which I thought was great, but on the most part they kind of follow the same predictable, safe, you know, formula that you'd expect from a Disney film. But with anime films, and particularly this film, it does things that you really don't expect and really don't see coming, particularly in the second half of the film. And I was like, wow, it was just great, because it's rare that you get that with a film, not just an animated film, but a film in general. I love the fact that the film wasn't afraid to take risks and do something different, and it didn't play it safe. You know, it trusted that its audience was smart enough to know what was going on, or at least to try and figure out what was going on. And one last thing about the latter half of the film is that towards the end, it almost became surprisingly very poignant and human, and I really didn't see that coming as well. Honestly, there were so many things that happened in this film that floored me, and particularly as it progressed, because for me, this is that rare film that it had me hooked from the beginning, but it just became even more engaging and even more immersive for me as it went on. To the point where towards the end, and this sounds a bit weird and odd, but it became almost spiritual and transcendent, and kind of the things that kind of happened toward the end of the film. And it was really kind of an out-of-body experience for me, because I was watching this film and I got so sucked into the world of the film. It took me on this journey, and it was such a transportative experience. Like, I really felt like I'd been transported into some other universe. What I'm getting at here is, in short, this was such a transfixing and transporting experience of a film, and it was just really quite something else. Of course, as far as technical aspects go, it won't be no surprise to know that this film is wonderfully animated. Yes, it's not Studio Ghibli, but with all anime films, all the films that came out of Japan, as far as animation is concerned, they all just look incredible. Beautiful hand-drawn animation, wonderfully animated, beautiful imagery, and really kind of striking visuals in this film. And also, as far as the story was concerned, it was just such a rich, textured and layered story that was so much more complex and mature than I was expecting, and I just think that's absolutely fantastic. It's one of the things I like most about anime films that come out from Japan, as opposed to Hollywood movies. Like I said, I don't want to keep going about this, but the main difference for me is that even though I love Disney, and I think Disney, Pixar, I think they're all fantastic, what I love so much about Japanese animated films is that they're so much more mature. They don't pander to the kids at all. It's like, this is a very mature, complex film. Like, I don't think a kid would be able to follow this. I was in a screening packed full of adults. It was mainly students and foreign students, actually. There was a lot of kind of Japanese people there, which isn't surprising, because this film was like the 5th highest grossing film in Japan, and deservedly so. That doesn't surprise me at all, because it is such a phenomenal film. But yeah, it was kind of weird being in this screening with so many kind of foreign students and people from Japan, but you know, it's a Japanese film and it's a phenomenal success in Japan, and it was great to be in a screening of people that really liked this film and really understood the film, really got the film, got the humour, and really enjoyed it. And I did as well because of that. It was just such a great experience watching this film. And as I said, the story, kind of already touched upon this, but I liked the fact that it was so different from just a typical mainstream Hollywood American movie. It did things you didn't expect. It was more grown up, it was more mature in its themes, and I just love that. I like films, particularly animated films, that are more grown up. That's what I think is so great about Japanese anime, is that it doesn't pander to kids, it is more grown up, it is more mature. It's just such a breath of fresh air for me to watch a foreign film and not just another predictable formulaic Hollywood movie, because as much as I love Hollywood movies, at least the good ones, it's just so refreshing to watch a foreign film that is so not American, you know, a film that's not a Hollywood movie, that's not a British film, that's a foreign film. And I just love that, because it really feels like you're watching something that is really quite different and really quite special and unique. That is definitely what this film was. Also, as far as the structuring of this film was concerned, it was just extremely well executed, and it was extraordinarily unique and ingenious in terms of the structuring of the film, because it was a chronological narrative per se, but then there were parts of the film that were non-linear, that were going jumping back and forth in time, and there were bits that occurred at different places. It's kind of hard to explain, because in general it was chronological as far as the story was concerned, but there were parts that appeared in different places. It kind of reminded me of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It sounds like a bit of a weird comparison, but in terms of like how the kind of romantic comedy element was mixed with kind of time, and how time was played with, it reminded me of Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind, 500 Days of Summer, that kind of thing. This isn't really a rom-com, but it had elements of those films, and I just loved how they told this story in a very unique way as far as the structure was concerned. It wasn't just a straightforward chronological narrative. There were parts that were non-linear, that did jump around in time, and that made it even more engaging and even more interesting to watch. And finally, one last thing that I really liked about this film and really appreciated was the use of recurring images, certain images that would recur many times throughout the film. There was a particular image of a door shutting, like it was either like the door of the house or the train, and that recurred many times throughout the film, and I really liked that. And also the image of a ribbon as well. And these little things, a lot of people might not pick up on, but I just really appreciate these small, finer details, because it just shows that the filmmakers have put so much attention into this, into the finer details, and I just really like that and really appreciate that. Overall, if you haven't guessed already, I absolutely loved Your Name. I think it is one of the best films of the year for me. I really wasn't expecting to like it as much as I was. It's not that I didn't believe the hype, I just really didn't think it would be as good as it was. But I'm telling you to believe the hype, because it was really good. The only thing that I will say about this film is that if you haven't seen many anime films, or if you haven't seen any anime films at all, I don't think I can recommend you seeing this film, because it is quite different and it would be quite hard to keep up, I think, in terms of not only reading subtitles, but in terms of the humour and certain things that happen throughout this film. You have to be kind of quick thinking and quick-witted in a way to watch this film, keep up and follow everything that's going on. I don't really think you can watch this if you haven't seen any other anime films. It's kind of a film that you have to know and love anime before you can watch this, and then you can really appreciate it and enjoy it to its full extent and full potential. But other than that, I think Your Name was a remarkable film, extraordinary, way better than I was expecting it to be, and I thought it was going to be good, but it still surpassed my expectations. I definitely recommend seeing Your Name if you're a fan of anime, and if you want to check it out, I think you've got to see it. If it's playing somewhere near you, I'm not sure if it's got its wide release yet, but I definitely recommend seeing it. Your Name, it has to get 5 stars, and for me, Your Name is an absolute must-see. And there we have it, that wraps up my review of Your Name. Have you seen the film yet? And if so, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Or if not, what is your favourite anime film? Let me know down below. And if you like this, then make sure to click subscribe to see more. But for now, I've been David O'Sullivan. I'll see you next time.